Finance Committee, and today's date is September 23rd, and we're starting at 6:30, and I'll read this. Kevin Jourdain is not here, but he probably will be coming in, but in the event he doesn't, or he goes on Zoom, I'm going to read this. Need a motion to take a roll call vote that for the purposes of this meeting would be applicable to all motions to remove an item from the table, place items on the table, package items, or suspend the rules unless there is an objection. So I move that we take that. All those in favor? Aye. Okay. And item number 1 is the minutes of the meeting from September 9th. I move we take it off the table for a quick discussion.
Second.
I have one item. This would be on page 8 in the top paragraph, the 4th sentence, where it says, was not required to pay the offices until it collected the money. That should be officers. So I'd make a motion that we change that.
Okay, second.
All those in favor? Aye. So moved, thank you. Okay, the first item on, the second item on, oh, go ahead, I'm
We
sorry.
have a motion to accept the minutes as amended.
Yes, okay. Motion to accept the minutes as amended. All those in favor? Aye.
I don't know.
Okay, the first item is, or second item, I'm sorry, is an order filed by myself that there be and is hereby appropriated to transfer fiscal year 2025 $5,069.13 as follows. From audit, professional accounting, HPD, to personal professional services, total $5,069.13. Is this the auditor or the police chief speaking about this one?
So that would be me, Patty, Tanya.
Okay, I thought so, okay. So could you tell us a little bit?
I can tell you about the transfer from line, which is a new position that we created in the auditor's office. It's budgeted at 7409, but some time has gone by, so now we have an available balance in that line, with still paying the same salary to the individual of $16,400. I know Kelly was taking on this initiative, so I thought I would lend a hand, and she can tell you about her initiative.
Okay. So Kelly, do you want, Counselor Jourdain is here, by the way, so we don't have to take votes all the time. Okay, Kelly from Personnel, you want to fill us in on this, please?
Yeah, sure. So it was recommended during one of our meetings that there be a confidential complaint line. There was a feeling that some staff may not feel comfortable saying who they are while making a claim, whether sexual harassment or other such cases. So I researched different services and got a couple quotes, and the one that I shared with the committee is the one we want to go with. Tanya had a vacant position and was nice enough to offer some funds. So this year, if approved, it would come out of there, but next fiscal year, I would budget for it.
Okay. And do you want to tell us a little bit about, we've got the paperwork here for the company
Yeah,
you're talking.
so, yep, employees can either send in a form with the complaint. They can be anonymous if they like, or they can disclose who they are. And they can also call a line, and this company would take the call and write a report based on it. And there's a system that would collect the data. And so we would get the cases, and then we would do the investigations and then mark if it's complete or the status of the call or the complaint. I invited them to this meeting. I don't know if they're online. I don't see them.
No, I
but
don't
they
see
were
them.
invited.
The paperwork is pretty self-explanatory, though, so thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Anybody have any questions? Counselor Givner?
Thank you, Madam
Hey,
Chair.
Kelly. Sorry.
David is here. Okay. He's here from the, from NAVIX, if anyone has any questions specific to the program. But if you have any questions specific to my role in it, Counselor Givner, I'm happy to answer.
I just wanted to clarify, so this is basically an anonymous system where people can put their claims in, or I guess it's not anonymous, but it's a place for them to file a complaint? That's a question.
Yeah, so it is anonymous, so they can disclose who they are, or they don't have to.
Thank you.
And I can speak to it a little bit more if you all want a little bit more context on it. Just knowing that I've been working with Kelly on the back end. But yeah, essentially it's an anonymous hotline. So folks can report an incident via phone, which we have call centers set up where they can do that. Or they can report over the web as well. So we'll set up a co-branded site with the city of Holyoke and then NAVEX, essentially letting people know that, hey, we're working with a third party. If you have an incident that you want to report and remain anonymous, you can do that through there. And then it'll give you all a way to manage those cases on the back end. And then the third piece of it is we provide you all with rollout templates called our awareness package. So essentially in the different departments, we'll provide you all with topical posters, essentially letting people know that you are working with a third party to receive anonymous reports, and then how folks can go about filling out those reports should an incident occur.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or concerns? Counselor Jordan?
Yeah, thank you. What was your name, sir? And could we get your contact information just to follow up with you in the future?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm David Dow. I'm an account executive at NAVEX. I cover the New England territory. And then I can give you my email address if that would be best.
Yeah, sure. If you could, what we'll do is, Kelly, okay. Oh, is it right there? Okay. Let me just make sure. Oh, David, yeah, it looks like I have your email address on the front page of the proposal. So it looks like I have it.
Great. Yeah, if anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out. And yeah, looking forward to being able to implement this for the city of Holyoke.
Yeah. So I just want to kind of go through a little bit of the cost, and then I want to talk about the reporting.
Yep.
So the first thing is, obviously I'm thrilled that we're doing this, number one. Let me just be clear, just so for full transparency to one and all, I'm the big screaming voice in the room that's been asking for this for a while, and I am thrilled that we're doing this. An organization of our size needs to have an ability to have third-party reporting of compliance issues. Because one of the, not necessarily true, but conspiracy theories of government is people take care of each other, everything's behind the scenes, cops take care of cops, firemen take care of firemen, DPW takes care of DPW, elected officials take care of each other. We got all these, arrangements going on. Not saying these things are true, but just saying public perception, this type of talk. So that the view is that if we have a third party independent compliance collecting complaints and vetting them and reviewing them, and people feel like I'm actually going to have my actual complaint put in and it's going to be recorded, then this is what we're looking for. And then it's up to us, which is the next part I want to ask you about, which is reporting. What type of either monthly or quarterly type of reporting will NAVEX be producing to leadership? That is to say, the council, the mayor, through personnel, I assume. I would want to, have check-ins to see how much is the service being used. Obviously, I would like to see lots of advertising around this, posters up, see something, say something, right? I think so-and-so is stealing. I think so-and-so is breaking the law. I think so-and-so is, I see sexual harassment going on. I see Lord knows what else, going on. There has to be a vehicle that these type of things are being reported and tracked. And then it's incumbent on management to then follow up on these different reportings that you'll be producing. So talk to me about, between either you and Kelly, what's the workflow going to be like? We're going to set this all up. I have a lot of faith in both of you that you'll get this out there advertised and published. And then on the other hand, we should have obviously something on the website, because citizens should also be able to have an opportunity to say something too, right? So if I see, every day I see so-and-so sitting under a tree sleeping in a city truck every day, I want to be able to know that I can call that in and I don't feel like someone's going to take retaliatory action against me, right? I'm just making these up, these hypotheticals, but so talk to me about how you envision, use an illustration of an example. Somebody says Joe Smith is stealing, writing checks to themselves or putting the lunch money in their pocket at the senior center or whatever, and you fill in the blank.
Yeah.
How does that happen? Somebody calls that in, a concerned citizen, an fellow employee, you get the report. Walk us through an example, please, David.
Absolutely. So essentially what it would look like, I'll use the fire department, for example. So first thing that we'll do, we're going to have posters. We'll provide you with an email template rollout to all of the people in your fire department, letting them know that, hey, we're working with NAVEX, a third-party hotline. Should you experience an incident, this is the number that you could call. This is the website that you can go to be able to report that incident. They can do it from their phone, from a computer, really any device. So let's say if I'm a fire department, or I'm a fireman in the fire department, and I experience harassment of some sort. I don't want to necessarily go to my boss, so I'm going to call the hotline, for example. So I'll dial the hotline, which is a dedicated phone number specifically for the city of Holyoke. You'll get one of our NAVEX call center specialists. Couple things about our call centers. They're just NAVEX employees. So people won't call into that number and get somebody that was just working with like an Amazon customer support specialist. It's going to be strictly NAVEX employees dedicated to the city of Holyoke. So I would call that number, and they're going to have a list of questions that they'll go through, essentially diagnosing what happened. So really answering like the who, what, when, and where it took place. From there, we'll log all of that information into your system. And then you all, whether that be Kelly, whether that be you, Councilman Kevin, you all would be managing that on the back end. So once the report comes in, it's our job to collect it and upload it into your system. And then from there, you all can then investigate, follow up as needed, and be able to ultimately resolve the situation from there. So that's kind of how it works at a high level.
Because one of the things, obviously, me as an elected counselor, my job is not to micromanage these things on the individual investigations, but I would like, and I more share this with Kelly, hopefully we build in, your office. I'm assuming, Kelly, your office takes lead on these type of reports or investigations of these different complaints. And then secondarily, the mayor or the council will get some sort of twice-a-year report that said we had 22 investigations, 17 of the 22 were screened out as, people, it wasn't what people thought it was. We looked into it, it was a nothing. 3 of these, we resolved it, and then 2 was for further, administrative action or whatever. Are you envisioning, Kelly, how are you planning on to, what reports you're getting from NAVEX and then the report out to, say, the council and mayor?
Yeah, I think similar to what you said, David shared the reporting, and I think in the email that I forwarded to you all, there was a link to a sample account, so you could see the different reports available too, but I'm happy to
Okay.
check in quarterly or biannually to update you all on the status and how it's working, how many, exactly what you said. Like how
Okay.
many were,
And one thing-
closed and-
One thing I can add there as well is in the back end of the system, and I walked through this with Kelly, there is full capability for like data analytics and tracking the reports that come in. So we'd recommend, and you can download, print out those cases, can then, whether it be on these, council meetings once a month, basically just keeping everyone updated with the types of reports that are coming in is one thing that we'll track for you. Maybe like what specific department they're coming from, just things like that to keep you all updated on, what's going on, if somebody were to report something.
Beautiful. Again, thank you both. Walk us through the cost. I see a request here for $5,069.13. What's the overall annual on it?
Yep. So our cost is broken down by annual fees and then one-time fees. One-time fees for us to set up the system.
Okay.
So your annual fees, and they're 3-year contracts. The annual fees are going to be just over $4,024.
Okay.
And then the one-time fees are just over $1,000. So $1,045 to set up. So in total, you'd be looking at $5,069.
And then, like next year, theoretically, the subscription's about $4,000 a year then.
Yep, it's about $4,000. There is
Wow.
a 7% increase cap in there. So just something to call out as well.
Wow, $4,000 to have a integrity system. That's a very fair price. So, thank you both very much. Thank you both for your leadership in bringing this forward and putting this together. And I appreciate personnel doing the due diligence to follow up on this item. This is very important and very meaningful. So, needless to say, very, very proud to support it.
Absolutely. Let me know if anybody has any questions. I'm happy to, continue to support you all.
Yeah, I just have one quick question. I'm assuming this is an anonymous call or,
Yeah, they
correct?
can
Yes.
disclose themselves if they want to, but it's anonymous.
It's an option. They can remain anonymous if they'd like, or they can, identify themselves if they'd like.
and I just want to prevent somebody from, as a joke, making a statement that isn't correct, and that you would investigate that and find that it wasn't true. That's the only thing I would worry about. I think it's great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go ahead. So
Sorry, I was
that's,
gonna say, absolutely, we would definitely do an investigation to make sure it was true.
okay. Thank you both. Anybody else?
No? Motion to adopt.
All those in favor? Aye. Thank you very much. Excellent presentation, and we look forward to having you use it. Thank you both very much.
Thank you all. Good night.
The next item on our agenda is from myself. Devine ordered that there being hereby appropriated by transfer in the fiscal year 2025, $58,500 as followed from Planner 2 to Planner 1, $58,500. We have Aaron Vega here. Aaron, you can come in or be at the microphone there, whatever. And I know that we've had this up before, so I had asked you to
Yep.
file it again, which I think is a good idea.
Absolutely.
to,
So just thank you, Madam Chair and councilors. So the idea, given the breadth of what we would want to see eventually in a Planner 2, and given that it would probably be 2 to 3 months really of training, it doesn't really make sense to bring in a Planner 2 without that sort of background knowledge. And at 58,000, we probably wouldn't be able to get some with that kind of knowledge. So being able to bring someone as a Planner 1 at a lower rate, around the $52,000 range, where the current Planner 1 is at, would make more sense. Allow us to train this individual and move through the rest of this fiscal year. Given given where we are in the calendar year, we wouldn't probably be able to get anybody into this position until January at best. So that will leave us the rest of this fiscal year. And so the plan would be the current Planner 1 that's in place, Planner 1A, if you will, is our mapping GIS person, also does some of the special research and projects for the planning board. This person, the Planner 1B, which is sort of a Planner 2 light job description, if you will, would be more focused on the zoning, site plan review, special permit review, which is pretty much what our principal planner does, pretty much by themselves. So again, given the dynamics of where everyone's at in the office, it also felt strange to bring in someone with such less experience, making more than other people that have been in the office for year or 2 years. So the idea would be to bring this in just the Planner 1 line, go out there, hire a Planner 1, spend the time to train this person. Hopefully they'd be interested, stay with us for a while, and hopefully down the road, next fiscal year, maybe the year after that, maybe move up to the Planner 2 position. But there's really a lot of training that really comes with that position to learn our ordinances, to learn zoning, also some of the state regulations, all the different special permits that City Council and Planning Board have. So it really is sort of a training ground, if you will, to have that Planner 1 position.
Yeah. And I'd just like to add, if you haven't been up to Aaron's office, you really should go up there and see all the different aspects of that department that take place in that in your area up there.
Thank you. Yeah,
Good.
doing a lot with a little. So
A lot, you
yeah.
you do. So any questions or concerns? Nope. So I'd like to entertain a motion that we pass this tonight. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so moved. Thank you, Aaron.
All right. Have a great night.
You too, thank you. Okay, now I believe we're up to
Take up item 4.
motion to take up item number 4.
Second.
Okay, which is, let's see, item number 4. This is filed by me, ordered that there be and hereby appropriated by transfer in fiscal year 2025, $33,000 as follows: from pay engineer, $19,000, pay civil engineer, senior civil engineer, $14,000, to professional engineering services. Move we take it off the table for discussion.
So moved.
All those in favor? Aye. I spoke with Carl today. He's unable to be here today, but this is the usual thing that we have been doing for professional engineering services to cover through from September and October. And he asked that we pass this tonight.
This will get us to what point?
October.
Just to 33 grand.
September
just
and October.
2 months is 33 grand.
Yeah.
Let me think about that for a minute. So if that's 15, 16.
Well, we're almost done with,
No, but if
yeah.
it's September and October, that's 2 months, right?
Yeah.
So 16,500 a month is what that service costs us. Times if we did that for 12 months, we're like 10, 30, 190,000 a year.
So that's why we need to get an
engineering.
engineer. We really need to hire a regular engineer. Right now, this is professional engineering services. It's a contract that we have, so that's what he's asking for September and October.
Is it me or has that gone up? I don't recall it being that much. I thought we took the old salary and we kind of divided it out, and that's kind of how we were doing it.
Again, I don't know, I can just tell you at our last city council meeting, we did take up, and I don't know if I'm gonna be right on the amount was $5,000 maybe, and we passed it that night. I may be wrong on that
Okay.
total, but this is a brand-new one.
So is it the 5 plus the 33?
No, because we
5
already
was for
passed the
other
pass.
stuff.
We already passed. And don't forget, she's also put together that thing with all the streets and everything and all the different orders that we filed.
She's doing good work.
Which was great, which
Everybody's
was
happy
really
with it.
very beneficial. So that's just an extension of what else is going on. And to me, the more we have to keep doing this without hiring an engineer, this is what happens. So that's my feeling, is to pass this and hopefully we can get an engineer.
Counselor Sullivan, do you have an opinion on this?
No, I gotta agree, we've gotta hire an engineer.
Right.
We've agreed to raise the salary range, I believe.
Yes,
Even there, my feeling is it's still gonna be a little bit low. But from what I understand, there's problems with some other negotiations with other parties involved.
It's still, even if we had somebody full-time, it's gonna be cheaper than $190 a year.
Yep.
Yeah, so we gotta get that figured out, yeah. Are they interviewing anyway, or do we just like?
You know, I don't know. I think the other party, I don't want to speak for Counselor Sullivan, I think the other party he's talking about is probably the union,
Okay.
that they're negotiating, you know, with the law department. That might be a holdup. Is that
Yes.
correct? So,
So if we approve this, is it viewed that we'll have some, by the end of October, they're figuring they're gonna have this figured out, or?
well, I certainly hope so. I really do. I think that everybody wants that. And this, to me, I certainly will mention this in my report, how important it is that the union and the city
Figure it out.
figure something out, because this isn't helping anybody at all. And so that would be my suggestion, is that we pass this tonight, and I will make every effort to speak to the law department as much as we can, because
Right,
we
of
have to be
course,
careful
of course.
of negotiations. But that's what I would do, is make a motion to pass this tonight, and I will speak with the law department, see, you know, carefully see where they might be in their negotiations with the union.
I'm in agreement with you. I think we do pass it, but tell them, you know, and you can make us all be the bad guy, but you can tell them, you got it through this time, but you might get a lot more questions
Right.
come November if we're still in the same boat. Does that
Right.
sound fair?
Yep.
Yeah, all right, make a
Yep.
motion to approve.
All those in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Thank you. And we have the last, this is for the chief. Hello, chief. How are you? I think you're on mute. Yeah, there you go.
Hello.
Okay. Hi. Okay, so this first one is item number 5, ordered that in accordance with Mass General Laws, Chapter 44, Section 53A, the City Council hereby accepts the provision of the Massachusetts Emergency Management Agency grant, 5,000 no match grant, and authorizes the establishment of a fund. Chief, is this for your department?
No, I'm not aware of what you're talking about. No,
Okay.
that's not for us.
This should be Jeff, I think. Jeff Trask?
Yeah,
Is Jeff
and,
with us here tonight?
He's not. Jeffrey
did send him
Anderson.
I did send him an invite and I hadn't heard back.
You can go. We're almost done.
I seen him at Holyoke Day driving a beautiful antique car, but
I don't believe he's even in the state, so we may.
might have to table this one.
Yeah, so my cause I saw that on Facebook that he was somewhere. So I would make a suggestion on item 5 that we,
Yeah, unless we want it.
mean, I'm
The only
ready to
other
pass it.
alternative is we could pass it and then just tell them to call in maybe
Okay.
before the next council meeting.
I can do that.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's a no match grant.
yeah.
Okay, so, unfortunately, Counselor Givner, had to leave.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so it'll just be the 4 of us.
Okay.
So,
Motion to approve?
motion to approve item 5 of that grant, no match, $5,000. And I will check with, Jeffrey Trask to see, if there's any questions or anything like that.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And the next one is definitely for the chief. And item number 6, ordered that there be and hereby appropriated by transfer in the fiscal year 2025, $250,000 as follows: from patrolman, $2,000, and sergeant, $50,000, to overtime, $250,000. Make a motion that we take it off the table for discussion.
So moved?
Okay. Good evening, Chief. If you want to talk about this, please feel free.
Okay, so the 200,000, that comes from the patrolman's line item. This was identified as a surplus due to multiple vacancies and additional officers assigned to the grants. We're in the process of hiring additional officers in December. We have a few coming out of the academy October 18th. So that should give us a few more in the ranks. And then after some training, I think they'll be available somewhere around December, and then we'll hire the others. The 50,000, that comes from the sergeant's line item. As you know, there were vacancies there, one which was already filled last month. There's still one open. We've also had a sergeant who's been away on long-term military leave. That salary's been accumulating. And we have another sergeant who's also assigned to grants.
Okay. Questions? Counselor Jordan?
Yeah, just a couple quick ones. Chief, do we get any reimbursement either from the state or otherwise when we have military personnel full-time away? Is there any reimbursement to the employers for that when we're covering salary for either somebody on active duty or anything like that? I wasn't sure if there was anything maybe through the Defense Department or that comes to the state. Do we get any reimbursement for, when we're covering that? Because I believe we passed a rule, I want to say it's been pushing 10 years ago, where we agreed that we would keep paying their salary, because they're serving the country and we value that so much. But I wasn't sure. I could have sworn at the time there was a discussion, like if you're an activated National Guard or there's different, I wasn't sure if you happen to know on anything on that.
Well, I can tell you from experience that I was activated many, many years ago, and there is no reimbursement.
Okay.
Okay.
All
It'd be
right.
nice if the state would reimburse us, but I don't know of any law or, at this point, there is no reimbursement that I know of.
Okay. My next question, it relates to the 250. We started off with the budget appropriation. Can you walk us through year to date? Are we on track to last year? Are we more or less on year to date in terms of the budget? How do you see us on pace? I know Chief Pratt said that basically more or less he saw us as about $1 million a year on overtime. Where do you see this going based on the current trends?
Still on track as last year. Last I checked with my budget sergeant, we're still on track, same as last year. But as you know, things can change. Hopefully, with the new officers coming in, this will reduce some of this overtime. So as we speak today, we're still on track, but it fluctuates, as you know, depending on officers resigning, officers not making it through academy, so we have to hire more officers injured on duty. The current contract where we have to allow 6 officers, believe it or not, are allowed to take the time off contractually. So that's another issue that we need to negotiate in the future. We have officers on, as you know, on military leave. The Family Leave Act is coming into place nowadays. Injured on duty, as you know, and administrative suspension. So all that in consideration, we're still on track, but it might fluctuate depending on variables.
Mm-hmm. All right. We'll certainly keep the Finance Committee abreast of any major changes, because that's kind of how we're budgeting. Wanted to ask you another question is, I know the mayor typically will ask the police department the prediction for buybacks and leave and how many folks might be leaving the department in a given year. Now that you've had 4 or 5 months since the predictions, is it kind of shaking out that it's about what the department figured for retirements for this year, or is it coming in higher or lower, as best you know?
We're obviously going to need more buyback. I'm anticipating. I haven't had a solid yes from a couple, 2 or 3 officers that could potentially leave. But if that was the case, we would definitely need more money, because I believe we're at the $0 at the buyback.
So how many officers are you predicting are going to retire this fiscal year if you had to put your finger on it?
I would guesstimate maybe 3.
3?
If they wanted to.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Chief.
Okay.
Okay. I noticed that Counselor Bacon is also online. Does anybody else have any questions for the chief on this particular order?
Motion to approve the transfer?
So hear a motion to approve the transfer. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so moved. Thank you. Okay, we have, next one is ordered that there be and hereby appropriate by transfer in the fiscal year 2025, $22,378 as follows: from police captains, $22,378, to dispatchers, $17,404, and principal clerks, $4,974. Make a motion that we take it off the table for discussion.
So moved.
All those in favor? Aye. All right, Chief, go ahead and fill us in on this particular transfer.
Okay, so this transfer is due to an approved union contract with the dispatchers and principal clerks. So the surplus here is from the captain's line item. As you know, I am currently the interim chief, so that money is coming from my captain's position. I also have one captain associated with a grant, so that's where the money's coming from. Essentially, my position as a captain is available. You know, this money's available there, so that's where I'm moving this money from. And this is a contract retroactive also that was approved already.
Okay, and retroactive to, if you have the date?
I don't have the date, but I can get that to you.
Okay. Questions?
Motion to approve the transfer?
Motion to approve the transfer, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so moved. Okay, Chief, we have one more. Ordered that, let's see, this is item number 8. Okay. Ordered that in accordance with Mass General Laws, Chapter 44, Section 53A, the City Council hereby accepts the HPD equipment donation, Thermo Scientific TruNarc handheld narcotics analyzer, fair market value, $40,871.91. Make a motion to take it off the table for discussion.
So moved.
So moved. Go ahead, Chief, tell us a little bit about this grant.
Okay, so this was donated by a private company. My understanding is the person who donated this has ties to Hoyle, and this device can easily be carried by an officer. You can point at a drug, and it can tell you exactly what chemical compounds are in it. As you know, we've had an increase of chemicals being mixed with like fentanyl and along with heroin, inside counterfeit pills. So this machine, my understanding is you can point to this drug, and it can tell you what mixture it is immediately. The device also allows the officers on scene, for example, if we have an overdose, we're able to tell the paramedics and who can tell the doctors at the hospital, you know, this is what we detected with this TruNarc, and it's essential in saving, lives.
Good. Well, that's pretty interesting stuff. Plus, it's a nice donation. Anybody have any questions or comments?
Only that I see this gentleman, Michael Antofali, who I'm probably butchering the poor man's last name in my pronunciation, but he obviously, we should give him a nice big thank you.
Definitely.
For doing this, and some form of recognition or something on behalf of donating this $41,000 piece of equipment, which I'm sure the HPD will put to good use. So we certainly thank him on behalf of the city.
And Chief, if you could extend that thank you from the City Council to him, that would be terrific. We really appreciate his donation.
Absolutely, I'll let him know, and we'll send a letter to him extending our thank yous, and of course, thank yous from the City Council also.
Great. Okay, so
Motion to approve.
make a motion to approve the donation.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And the next item is item number 9. It was filed by Counselor Bacon and Jordan, that the treasurer, along with key people, please provide an update on progress and next steps for converting to self-insurance and to provide health insurance for city employees. Please also review the city council, with the city council, the calculations on how the FY25 insurance budget was calculated. I'd like to take it off the table only to move it to October 7th, finance meeting.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Is there a
October 7th.
motion to adjourn?
Okay, so we're gonna table this one until
Till
October
October 7th,
7th.
correct.
Okay, I'll make that motion to table until October 7th.
Second, and Jeffrey's aware of that, and so are the parties, the treasurer, and I believe you had somebody from Ross Insurance.
Yep.
Perhaps, so everybody's been notified that it'll be October 7th.
Sounds good,
Okay.
thank you.
So.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so moved. Thank you
All right,
all very
thank
much.
you.
Thank you, Holyoke Media, thank you, Jeffrey, thank you, everybody.
Yep, good night.
Okay.